Greetings, my fellow African Americans. This is Bobby Hesley, and I have a message for you. Actually, no, I don't have a message for you. I have a question for you. And my question for you is this: when are you going to have some self-respect and stop rewarding the bad behavior of the racist Democrat Party, the party that brought us slavery, the party that brought us segregation, Jim Crow segregation, the party that brought us the KKK, the party that uses abortion as a tool and as a weapon to exterminate the Negro population, which is true to the message of Margaret Sanger, the party of degrading welfare programs that have destroyed the black nuclear family, where the father has been replaced, the father and the husband has been replaced and taken out of the home and replaced by the state. When are you going to have some self-respect as a people and stop rewarding the bad behavior of these racist Democrats who don't care anything about you, who only care about your votes every 4 years? When are you going to stop rewarding these people? When are you going to start punishing them in the ballot box? It's time for you to start punishing the party that has enslaved you. This Democrat Party, this evil, godless, communist party that continues to put it on black people. When are you going to learn? Donald Trump is the racist? Are you kidding me? You think Donald Trump is racist? What do you make of what Joe Biden is saying? What do you make of the history that Joe Biden has of his racist comments towards the black community? Now, believe it or not, I never thought I would see this day. I never thought I would ever say this. But with what Joe Biden said yesterday, where he said that there is no diversity in the black community, that blacks as a whole pretty much don't think differently, that they think monolithically, I gotta say, and I never thought I would ever hear myself saying this, I actually agree with Joe Biden. He actually got it right. A broken clock is right at least once or twice a day, right? Now, many people are coming out and saying, even people on the conservative side are coming out and saying that those are very racist comments of Joe Biden that he made towards the black community yesterday. But I actually push back against that a little bit. Now, make no mistake, I do believe that Joe Biden is a racist, okay? Like, make no mistake about that. If you go to my other videos, you will see the litany of racist quotes that I've compiled of Joe Biden. In fact, there's one on my YouTube channel called Do I Speak for the Black Community, where I compiled all the racist history of Joe Biden and other Democrats. So make no mistake, Joe Biden is a hardcore racist. He does not like black people. He does not like you. He likes your votes. He likes your campaign contributions, but he doesn't like you. But I don't believe that the statement that he made yesterday was a racist statement. I believe that it was a realist statement. There's a difference between racism and realism, okay? There's a difference between making what I call a melanin judgment, a judgment on somebody strictly based on their melanin, the color of their skin. But then there's another thing that's more so of a cultural observation. So keep that distinction in mind. There's a melanin judgment, and then there's a cultural observation. The two are very different. The melanin judgment is racism, okay? When you judge somebody solely based on the color of their skin, that's racism. And Biden is full of that, as are all the other white Democrat leaders. But when you judge somebody based on the culture of that person, the culture that that person belongs to, that's not racist. That's actually realism. So remember that distinction. There's racism and there's realism, okay? I believe that Joe Biden was dead on with what he said yesterday about the black community. And I want you guys to come together as a people and prove him wrong in November. I want you to come together as a people and punish him at the ballot box. I want you to show up and say, you know what, Joe Biden? We don't all think alike. We're not a monolith. We do have diversity. For the first time in I don't know how many decades, you ain't gonna get 90% of the black vote this time around, pal. You wanna have a new black vote with the Hispanics? Be my guest. You wanna treat the illegal immigrant as the new black vote? Which I actually wrote an article on a few years ago on American Thinker, if you look it up. That's what the Democrats are doing, folks. For those of you, my fellow black people, the Democrat Party is so used to getting your votes every 4 years without having to work for it, without having to earn it, that they are coming to the point where they are taking you for granted. And I'm saying you, I'm not saying us, because I don't include myself in this monolithic thinking that votes Democrat mindlessly every 4 years. I'm a lifelong conservative. I'm an odd man out among my community, and I don't include myself in that, even though I'm black, even though I love my people. I don't include myself in the mindless voting habits that are practiced by the black community every 4 years. And this is partly why. I don't like to vote for racists. I don't like to vote for people who look down on me and aren't ashamed to hide their condescension towards me and my community. You should not vote for Joe Biden, and you need to punish him for what he said, for all the other things that he said. Joe Biden and the Democrats as a whole are so used to getting your easy, unearned black votes that they are taking you for granted to the point where they feel like they could say whatever they want about you. And again, I'm saying you, not us, because he ain't talking about me. I think for myself. I think differently. I don't have the Democrat masses serial number etched on my forehead. I don't have a big fat D stamped onto my forehead. So he ain't talking about me. I think for myself. I think critically. And I want you to join me. I want my people to start thinking critically. Let me look you in the eyes here. Let me take my sunglasses off. I want you to look me in the eyes. Look at the sincerity and the love and the passion that I have for you as my people. And I want you to show up in November, and for once in your life, I want you to try something differently and pull the lever for Donald Trump. Vote Trump. What other president has done more, next to Abraham Lincoln, who abolished slavery and who issued the Emancipation Proclamation 200 years ago? What Republican president, whether Republican or Democrat, has come close to doing for the black community what Donald Trump has done, what Donald J. Trump has done in the short amount of time that he's done it? He's done prison reform, which has undone the atrocious crime bill that Joe Biden helped get passed in 1994 that incarcerated more black men and herded us up like animals in cages more than any other legislation in history. Trump has brought the black unemployment rate to historically low numbers ever since that number has been recorded by the Bureau of Labor and Statistics back in 1973. Black unemployment is at an all-time low. Black-owned businesses are up 40% because of the opportunity zones that Donald Trump created in urban communities. He has granted hundreds of millions of dollars to HBCUs, to historically black college universities like Howard and all these other incredible icons of black learning throughout history. He has made it to the point where these HBCUs don't have to get on their knees and beg for funding every couple of years when the funding runs out. He has made it to where they get permanent funding, that they don't have to get down on their knees and grovel to have their colleges funded the way Barack Obama, our first black president, used to make these HBCUs get down on their knees and beg for money every year from the federal government. Donald Trump is the best friend of the black man. The Democrats used to refer to themselves as the friend of the Negro. Well, you know who the true friend of the Negro is? It's Donald Trump, the man that you swear up and down is a racist. Yet I challenge you to find one racist statement that Donald Trump has made. I challenge you to show me and prove to me how Donald Trump is a racist. I can prove to you all day how much of a racist Joe Biden is. How much more proof do you need? I am sick and tired of seeing my people reward the bad behavior of these evil racist Democrats that don't care anything about them, that only care about their votes. I want to encourage you in November to punish this man. Show him that us black people are not a monolith, that we do think differently, that just because of the color of our skin doesn't necessarily mean that we automatically vote Democrat. People have told me my whole life that I'm self-hating. Oh, you must hate yourself to have your Republican views and to not vote Democrat blindly lockstep like all the rest of us do. You know what? I think if you want to compare the two, I vote for the party that believes everybody has personal responsibility over their lives. That if it's to be, that it's up to me. I believe in the party that empowers the black man or the black woman to make the best out of their lives. I don't believe in the party that has this soft bigotry of low expectations towards us, that think that we're these disabled, that we're these cripples, that we're these idiots, that we're these morons that can't get anywhere in life without the help of Big Daddy government giving us handouts. It's because of my self-respect that I don't vote for that party. I actually would like to throw that back at you. If you vote Democrat, in spite of everything Joe Biden has said, in spite of everything the Democrat Party has done to our race, then you, my friends, are the ones who don't have self-respect. You're the ones who have self-hatred because you have continually voted against your own best interests every 4 years. 60 years of liberal policy since Lyndon B. Johnson, when he created the War on Poverty, the Great Society. There has been a $10 trillion transfer of wealth, a $10 trillion transfer of wealth between the haves and the have-nots and social welfare programs ever since the Great Society. Black people are much worse off since then, way worse off in the last 60 years. It doesn't work. The socialistic, degrading welfare policies of the Democrat Party do not work. So I want you to have some self-respect rather than telling guys like me who think for themselves and other black conservatives out there who think for themselves. I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself how much self-respect you have. If you're willing to vote for an idiot like Joe Biden, a racist idiot that thinks he can get away with whatever he wants and say whatever he wants about our people. And I hate to say it, but I agree with Mr. Biden. Because I have a sinking feeling that when November comes, you guys are going to show up for him and you're going to vote him into, you're going to vote in droves. You're going to do everything you can to get him elected because you have allowed yourself to become brainwashed by the media, which is basically the PR department of the Democrat Party, into thinking that Donald Trump is the racist that hates black people. But his policies and the reality that he's created in this country for the minority community says otherwise. Punish this man. Stop voting against your own best interest by voting these idiot Democrats into office. I challenge you, look into my eyes and heed my challenge. What difference is it going to make in your life if you try it one time and vote Republican? Just do it. You don't have to tell anybody that you voted Republican. It's nobody else's business. Stop caring what people think about you. Stop feeling that you're not down for the struggle. If you want to leave the herd and think for yourself and vote differently, rather than getting caught up in groupthink, rather than getting caught up in herd mentality. That's all I got to say. I love you guys. I know it's tough love. Call me a coon, call me an Uncle Tom, call me a sellout, call me a Sambo, call me whatever you want to call me. But at least I have enough self-respect to make these politicians work for my vote, to study what these policies are, to study what their opinions are, to study where they stand on certain different policies, to earn my vote, to make sure that they're worthy of my vote. Don't just show up and pull that D. Don't just show up and vote straight ticket Democrat just because that's how you were raised, just because that's what everybody else does. Think for yourself. Prove Biden wrong. Prove that we're not a monolith. Prove that we have diversity of thought within our community. Make history. Make some black history so that next February we could say that in the 2020 elections, for the first time in history, the Democrat Party didn't get 90% of the black vote. Let's add to Black History Month next year, shall we? And do not let this bum get back in the White House. He was there for 8 years with his buddy Obama, and they did enough damage to the black community, by the way, that Trump has undone with lightning breakneck speed. Punish him in November and have some self-respect. God bless.